Hey guys, we are back. And by we, I mean I'm Jason, and
I'm still Katie.
And we're going to count down, I think, 15 more games. Well, I'm going to count them down. Katie's going to comment accordingly of the games that she's played. Which are most of these?
I'm color commentary.
Yeah, color commentary. So let's get started. We're going to start with number 185. And number 185 for me is Blackfleet. So I don't know why this game gets such a bad rap, but we picked it up for like $10. And essentially what it is it's a pirate-themed pick-up and delivery game. So you're picking up cubes from one port, maybe delivering them to another port, and you're trying to be the first person to get enough money saved up so you can flip these like 5 or 6 cards in front of you. And the first person to flip this big dog card, which costs the most money, is going to win the game. So it's a simple little game. There's some fighting. You can kill other people's pirates. The Navy can come after you and shoot you down. That kind of stuff. So,
but essentially, it's pick up and deliver.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really like this game. Part of it is this is the component. This is the ship. One of the ships that you have 2 ships. One is like your carrier, your cargo ship, and you can actually fit cubes down inside the ship, which
that may be the pirate. Is that the pirate ship?
Oh, this is the pirate ship here.
Yeah. That's the pirate ship. Oh, no, this is the pirate ship.
That's right.
Yeah, the pirate ship. And then there's also this pirate ship, which is littler. It can hold 1 cube, and your other one I think can hold 2.
Because you can.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can hold 3 cubes.
Yeah, it can hold
2 in the
3.
back, 1 in the front.
And then, so I love that there's actual, like, you can set the cubes down inside them when you pick up and deliver. Also, the coin money, like, this is like...
Metal coins came with the base game.
Metal coins came with the game.
Has a nice insert and cubes.
Well, there's cubes.
I love cubes.
The artwork is cute.
The board is really nice coloring. It's from Space Cowboys, which did Elysium. They do all the Time Stories mess.
Another game I like.
And, yeah, so Space Cowboys is cool.
But there's a lot of great things about this game, and I like the pirate theme, so it's nice, it's easy. There's fighting in it, but like if someone, blows up your ship, you come right back.
You respawn.
So yeah, so it's not like super detrimental to what you're working towards. It doesn't feel like really antagonistic.
I don't mind it at all.
And a lot of people really love the idea of being pirates, also like moving goods around, putting them on these cute little boats, fighting up other boats, stealing some booty from them. Like, that's fun. And
yeah, I actually don't like pick up and delivery, but I do like it in this one.
You keep saying you don't like pick up and deliver.
That's true, but
there
I do
are
play
plenty
it a lot.
games that you
That's
like
true.
a pick up and deliver.
I don't think I like it, but I do like it, I guess.
So I think Blackfleet, and it's a great easy intro kind of game for that, with a theme that's really accessible to people.
I agree. Everybody
like
loves
this game.
pirates. So
Yeah.
185, Blackfleet.
Blackfleet. You ever like it's a bad rap?
Yeah, it's like, that's why it's always on clearance.
Get it on clearance, people. It's good.
Yeah. Black Friday sale, it'll probably be $10. Go pick it up. It's fun. So my number 184 is a game that's pretty much in everybody's collection. Most people know about this, and that is Ticket to Ride, or some flavor of Ticket to Ride. The main mechanism is the same across all genres of it.
Which one is your favorite?
I like Europe, because Europe has some train stations and it's less mean. So what Ticket to Ride is, it's a game where you're trying to put these little colored trains out on these routes on the board, and you're trying to fulfill cards that say you need to go from like New York to Seattle. And you're doing that through some rummy style set collection of cards. You're going to draw and play cards, and that's essentially the game. It's really easy to teach, it's really easy to play, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I mean, Ticket to Ride was a really early kind of acquisition for us as gamers, and it continues. Like, I would still play it now. We have Asia, which was interesting, kind of take on it, and they've been coming out with new maps. But I mean, the basic style is the same. But
I forgot that. Did you see? There's a Japan map coming out of Essen.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah, it's all Japan. I mean, there's something on the other side too, but there's Japan.
I can find my grandma's hometown on there. So like that, like you can kind of have these different parts of the world, but it's an easy game to play, introduce new people, to sit around and talk and still pick up your cards or play your trains. And there's enough interest to like determine how you're going to connect your routes and get everything there, that it's still good for other gamers. It's a great kind of family thing. Like if you want to introduce a game this holiday season to your family, you know, sitting around for Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas, Ticket to Ride is a solid winner, and you can get it at Walmart, Target,
everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So
if you can find Monopoly, you can find Ticket to Ride.
It's solid. Good game.
So 184, I think. Yes.
184.
184. Ticket to Ride. Any flavor that you choose. Now on to 183 is a game that we don't have a box here.
It's kind of a controversial game.
Yeah, it is controversial. So somewhere around the screen, probably down in the corner like I did last time, will be this game, and it is Mission Red Planet. I played second edition. First edition I think is similar, just I haven't played it. So the second edition of Mission Red Planet. So this is a game from Bruno Faidutti. So it has all the normal Faidutti stuff where you're playing cards and you're trying to screw people over with those cards, and you're trying to get some area control on Mars, and you don't want to get your people over in Asteros, which is the moon, and you have to put people on rockets to get them up there, and you're firing off cards at a countdown. Yeah, I enjoy this game. It's interesting. It's a little mean, and I'm surprised that I like it because it is a little mean, but I like it.
Yeah, I really don't like this game. And if I try to narrow down why, it's not even that it's mean, because I don't care. Like, I'll be mean.
Is it because we played it with too many people? But it doesn't really matter at this, I guess.
It doesn't matter how many.
Because everybody's playing at the same time.
I don't like it because...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Area control.
Oh, that's true. You don't like it.
I hate area control. Unlike Jason, who says he doesn't like pick up and deliver, and he really does, I actually don't like area control.
I don't really like area control either, and that's honest to goodness sake.
It's frustrating to me,
It is
area
frustrating.
controls. And also, like, I don't like that mechanism of, okay, let's get people on the boats. Like, I always feel like the choice is the wrong choice, no matter what you make. To send the ship off now, to send it off later, to send one ship over here. It just never goes well. It's the same with that other dragon boat game. There's a bunch of other games. Imhotep, all those.
Yeah.
I don't like
all
it.
All those games where you can have 3 of your people on one ship, and then someone's like, well, you're not going to that place, you're going to this place. Or I'm going to blow this one up. Yeah, all that type of stuff, yeah.
I just don't like it. And again, it's space. Y'all know.
It's barely, I mean, it's space themed, but it's barely
I don't
space.
care. It's space, and I don't want anything to do with it.
That's true, yeah.
This doesn't even appear in my top 200.
That's true. I think that might be the only space game on my list. Don't quote me.
You always say, "Oh, this is the best fell. This is the highest one," and then like 5.
And I never know.
Later,
I don't look at my list past what I'm talking about right now. So
I'm almost positive it's not the only space game.
yeah, we'll find out. Just stay tuned. So 183 is Mission Red Planet. The next game on my list is a little card game from Japanime. Number 182 is called Miraris or Miraris. I have no idea. It'll be typed at the bottom so you can see it. So this is a game of simultaneous action selection to try to win wonders. So everyone has the same number of cards. I think it's 1 through 10 or 1 through 9, something. And what you're trying to do is you're picking a card, putting it face down. Everybody reveals at the same time. And you're trying to claim these wonders. Here, I'll get it open. You're trying to claim these wonders.
Can't show you anything, so I don't.
You're trying to claim these wonders by having either the highest card or the lowest card. But the trick here is the cards get assigned from lowest to highest, starting with the left to the right. So you may play a low card because you don't want the item that's on the left, but somebody may play something lower than you, which is going to stick you with something that you don't want. So it's just one of those games where you're trying to outthink your opponents to try not to get stuck with things you don't want. And there's variable player powers, which are going to give you different in-game conditions, different win conditions, different powers throughout the game. So if you like simultaneous action selection, I think you might want to check out Miraris. I don't know if you liked it as much as me, but I think I played it like 5 times in a row.
You played it a lot in a row. It was okay. What I really loved about it is the artwork. The
artwork is awesome.
Really nice. Really pretty. I like that about it. But I just felt like I could never get a very good knack of how to play the game right or something. I'm not sure.
In the game's defense, we did play it with one more person than you're supposed to play it with.
Okay, well.
You're supposed to play it with 5, and I think we played it with 6, your game. So every time we couldn't get anything. Like I think I ended the game with 1 wonder or something. It was awful. We played it with that many. But when you play it with 3 and 4, it's awesome. So maybe you just need to play it with the actual number of people.
We're always breaking the rules here at our house.
We just had a bunch of people and I wanted to play it, so we just all played it. There's enough decks for that many people. You're just not supposed to play it with that many people. So, yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't bad. I'm just not in a rush to play it again, but I think I would if Jason wanted to. It's okay. We have some other games that do something similar to this. Right now, I'm specifically thinking of Campy Creatures.
Oh yeah, that's
that
true.
I actually
That is much better.
I like better. So that's why.
That's much better.
Spoiler, it's higher. That's why I think I don't like this one as well, because I know other things that do it well. But I'm a sucker for card games, so that kind of outthinking your opponent is something that's really fun too. So.
Yep. So that is number 182. Mararis. I don't know what it means, but that's 182. So moving on from a card game, we're going to Press Your Luck, because I love Press Your Luck. I don't know why, I just love it. It's one of my favorite mechanisms, I think.
Thankfully we live in Ohio and not like Vegas,
That's
where
true.
I could be worried about gambling.
But then I
addiction.
have to spend money. I like Press Your Luck, but I know how to spend money.
It's true.
So number 181 is a newer game that we got at Origins this year called Fire in the Library. So what this game is, it's a push your luck game where you're trying to run into this burning library and rescue books. There's 4 different types of books. I don't know what they are, but they're white, yellow, purple, and black. I don't even know if they're in the rule book, actually. And you're pulling these books out of a bag, which are represented as cubes, which Katie will talk about more later. And there's also fire in that bag. So you're trying to get more books out than you get fire, because if you hit a certain number of fire, you bust. And you're just trying to have the most points at the end of the game. It's quick. It plays, I think, like 5-6 people. A whole bunch of people can play this game. And it's super fun. And now I'll let Katie talk about me being a cheapskate. Go ahead.
Yeah, it can play up to 6 people.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, yes, the push your luck element there is awesome.
Look at that bag.
Fire in the bag. But you also can get tool cards that can help you kind of mitigate what's happening with the luck of the draw. So that's really great. I also, I really like the components that like the boxes, one of those awesome magnetic boxes, and you track the score inside it on these little books.
Which I don't like as much as I thought I would, because the box doesn't lay as straight as I would like. But whatever, it is cool.
It just needs a little work. It just needs a little love. Obviously, I love the theme because I'm an English teacher, and so I loved it. I think Michael Corney is the one that kind of mentioned this to us. So the whole fighting fire element is his gig, and the whole library element is my gig. So after seeing it, and we played a quick demo at Origins, I wanted it so bad. However, this game would be even better because it's really good. If you get the shaped meeples, instead of pulling out cubes to rescue books, you can actually pull out books.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Wouldn't it be amazing if you just grabbed like 40 different books, like actual books, put them in a box and pulled them out?
Jason at BoardGameMechanics.com. If you want to send a plea to get him to buy me upgraded components for Fire in the Library.
If I get 15 emails, I'll do it.
But that aside...
That's 1 email per $1 that it costs.
That aside, it still is a really fun game. It has that... It's like Quacks Light.
Yeah, it's less of a game than Quacks, but it's still fun.
Like Diet Quacks.
Yeah, like Diet.
It's what Fire in the Library is like.
That's true. Really.
I like the thematic element to it, but Jason strips that away and it's pulling cubes out of the bag. So again, you've got Quacks.
Yeah, Quacks.
So
which is pulling chits out of a bag.
Right. So it's Diet Quacks, but
that's true.
That push your luck element is fun.
It is a super fun.
And also with your push your luck, some people get mad, Joel, when push your luck doesn't go their way.
Because they don't know when to stop.
Because they have impulse control issues. And so then they're like, well, there's too much luck in that game. The thing about this game is 1 round, it could be devastating. You push your luck, you get nothing, someone else gets a ton of points. The very next round, you can come back and double their score.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is all of it wildly. There's not like a lead or runaway in this.
Sometimes.
Rarely.
Yeah, that's true.
Rarely is there, because there's also mechanism of choosing where turn order happens and the disadvantages and advantages of that kind of, I think, really helps you stick with this game, and it's not just pure luck.
Because if you go earlier, you have a greater probability of busting. You go later in turn order, you have a better chance of getting more books out. So eventually, the theory is it's going to pan out. So if you get hosed a lot, you can start taking the later ones and you'll be fine.
And even if maybe there's still a clear winner throughout, it's hard for someone to get far behind the entire time.
That's true.
They usually have a round that is just a lucky break.
I think we've been within like 10 or 20 every time.
Yeah, it's usually been pretty close. And I think that even helps with the fun factor because sometimes when it becomes demoralizing to lose.
It does feel like that sometimes. It'll be half the game and somebody's at like 80 and you're at 0. You're like, man, this game's awful.
But then you can can
right.
really catch up. Like that's what I think is so great about it, that the movement in this game is really fluid.
Right, I agree. So number 181, Fire in the Library. And it's in a book.
And it's in a book.
Next is a bigger game, and it's from Z-Man. Another game that doesn't get a lot of love, but I enjoy, and it is called Helios. So in this game, what you're doing is you are a culture or a civilization that worships the sun. So you're trying to...
Helios kind of gave that away.
Yeah, well, exactly. So you're trying to build areas on your planet, or build settlements on your planet so they'll produce resources when the sun hits them in a certain direction. And you also want to build your temple so they're facing the sun, and they're also surrounded by a bunch of different territories, so they're going to give you a pile of points, because civilizations like points. It's a really fun game. It takes about 90 minutes. It says 60 minutes, but that's a lie. It has some special player powers that you can buy throughout the game, that you can use them once. And you're playing over 4 rounds. There's some set collection. There's a lot of resource management. A little bit of randomness, which makes it kind of nice. So if you're looking for a good deal on a game that's fun and not super heavy, it's probably medium. Like, for real, not just me saying that. It's probably a good medium game. So if you're into that, go check out Helios. That is number 180.
No, I've never played this game.
Okay.
No, we've had it for a while.
You're right.
And there's lots that you talk about sun positioning. Is it the same kind of mechanic like photosynthesis? Because you're worried about sun positioning in that game too.
I haven't played photosynthesis, but probably. Because in photosynthesis, you're trying to not be behind a tree that's giving shade. You're going to be the one that's in front. But in this one, you're not competing with other players. You're just worried about your own sun. So every planet has their own sun, essentially. So yes, it functions the same way, but you're not competing with each other on the same board.
Okay.
But yes. Good.
You'd probably like it better than photosynthesis because it's more Care Bear.
Oh yeah, I'm doing my own thing and you can't screw me over. I mean, you can, but if you take the wrong stuff that I want, but outside of that, yeah.
Okay.
So number 180, Helios. So next up is the first Feld, I believe, that's come across this list. Huh. And that is 179, which I don't have anymore because everyone hates it. We've talked about that ad nauseum on the podcast. And it's called Bora Bora, which will be over here by Katie somewhere. So this is Feld doing what Feld does, doing some dice placement. There's 4 or 5 areas of places you can place dice. And you're placing dice to take certain actions, maybe drafting some male workers for your village, some females for your village. Trying to build some huts on this island to be next to the best fish. You're trying to
collect
jewelry, build fires on your board. Whole bunch of ways to score points because Feld loves points. So it's a point salad game. I really enjoy it. It's a little bit cutthroat on that island piece, which I know some people didn't care about. And the rules overhead is a little bit heavy for what the game is. It's not a super heavy game, but the rules are really complicated. So I'll let Katie rag on it now for a little while, and I'll go take a drink break.
This game was awful. I can't believe it's in his top 200. And it's not just me, because I know I'm prejudiced about some games, and I get that. And I want to admit that I have some issues. I was not the only one that hated this game.
But that other person that hated this game went out and traded for this game.
That's what I can't understand either.
Because I think, thinking back on it, he's like, man, that was a really good game, and I was just being a curmudgeon for no reason. That's what I think.
When I think back on the game, I just think rage. Like, not that I was mad, like... There's just so much stuff, which is okay. I like dice placement.
It's a Feld.
Dice placement is in my number 1 game of all time. Spoiler. Oh, you all know this if you watch my videos.
It may be in mine too. We'll find out.
I love dice placement. This doesn't do it well.
Yes, it does.
It's so overly convoluted on how to get these points, and everything is...
It's set collection.
No.
Area control.
But in like an obnoxious way. Area control. Also the problem. It's like a twofold.
The little island in the huts is the worst part. I will give you that.
It just... No. No. I don't care. This is 179. Don't buy this.
It's a good deal.
You'll regret it. You'll get a good deal. There's a reason why things are cheap sometimes.
Go watch Rado play it, and he'll change your mind.
Not even Rado could salvage this game.
Rado salvages it.
Rado could come here right now
and play it.
And
you would
say
love
he would play it with me,
'cause
and
he's
I'd be
Rado.
like, no,
You're wrong.
I can't do that.
All right, I'm cutting Katie off on this one. 179, Bora Bora. Next up is a 2-player only game about ninjas versus samurai, and it is 178. It's called Seven Ronin. This is from Gray Fox, and
I feel like we own all their games.
I think we do actually. Maybe a few little ones we don't, but in this game, one player's taking on the role of the ninjas, the other player's taking on the role of the samurai, and what you're trying to do is you're fighting for area control, essentially. Area control is not as annoying in 2 players, but you're fighting to control these 6 or 7 provinces on this board. There's some outside edges and there's an inside territory, and you're trying to, if you're the samurai, you need to get so many of these areas controlled. If you're the ninja, you need to kill all the samurai. And every time you control a territory, it's going to give you special abilities. So you're trying to outthink your opponent to go maybe where they're not going, to maybe if you're the samurai, you may want to go where the ninjas are going so you can kill some of the ninjas. Sometimes the ninjas want to sneak in through tricky ways to get behind some samurai to kill them. And if you see that right there, that's how many hit points that the samurais have that the ninjas have to hit with these little ninja stars, if I can find them, which they're super tiny.
Ninja stars.
But if you look in here, there's some let me pull one out.
You can't see
that.
you can't see the ninja stars.
So if you look right here, I'm going to hold it up. It's super small. There's a little ninja star that you're trying to assign to these samurais. So it's a really fun game. It's actually pretty thinky for what it is, and it takes a little bit to learn because you have to kind of know how to play both sides in order to play. Because you need to know how, if you're playing the samurai, you need to understand how the ninja moves. If you're the ninja, you need to understand what the samurai does. So that's my thoughts. You can go ahead and...
I love this game for a lot of reasons. The theme,
She
for
loves
sure.
player screens.
Okay, I don't love player screens, but these look cool. It's awesome, bamboo. The great thing about this is we talk about how you have to know how the other players do. So what they do and how they move. Inside it shows the different area abilities depending on who you are, Ronin or Ninja.
Yeah, it's the player screen is awesome. It tells you everything.
It's
mostly everything.
super helpful. The Ronin abilities are over on one side. The village areas are on another side. And it is that back and forth. Okay, where are they going to go?
Oh, let me see that too.
Where aren't they going to go? How can I outwit them? How can I, how can I wound them and not... Because if you go in the same... If you go in the same space, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem if you go in the same space. There's a lot of rules that we're not talking about, but the one of the things I like is behind your player screen you have this little board which basically simulates the actual main board. So you can look at this to figure out where you're going to go, and this is where you're going to assign your workers, either the samurais or the ninja stars, without having to look at the board, so people aren't thinking, man, you're looking at that center area an awful lot, because they have no idea. So this is a nice little touch, and this is the ninja one because they're drawing their plans in the sand, and the samurai have a more, nice looking map because they're samurai.
Ronin,
whatever.
Ronin, they are samurai, but
Yeah.
they're like protecting a village. That's just another. Yeah, and this one I do like the thinkiness of it, and I love games that are a lot of game in a small package, and really this box is could be.
Oh yeah, half the size.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is really it. I mean, It does not need to be this big, but there is a lot of work that you're doing mentally, outthinking your opponent, strategizing, trying to use all different areas. It's super good.
Yeah, it's a good game, and it doesn't get a ton of love. And it should get more love for sure.
It should.
So that's number 178, Seven Ronin. The next game is another 2-player game. We play a lot of 2-player games, and even when Katie's not playing, I play a lot of 2-player games too. So number 177 is an installment of the Mr. Jack series, and this is Mr. Jack Pocket. So this is from Bruno Catala, I believe. Is that who it says?
Yep.
And Ludovic Maublanc. And what this is I think they're all 2-player versions, but this is a little one where you're using these tiles to create this, I think 3x3 grid. I'm pretty sure 4x4, whatever. There's a grid of tiles, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out, if you're Sherlock Holmes and Watson, you're trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is, Mr. Jack. So all the characters are going to be face down or face up, and you're trying to figure out which card the Mr. Jack player is trying to not have you find. So say Mr. Jack is this person. they're going to try to be manipulating all these people on the board, so you can't figure out that they are that person. And you're going to do that through some line of sight stuff. Some of the characters have special abilities. If you're Sherlock or Watson or the dog or Mr. Jack, you can do different things. So depending on what side you are is what you can do, but every player gets to play both sides. So if I was the Mr. Jack player, I'd still get to do all the actions for everybody. You take a turn being Sherlock and Watson, and then your next turn, you're the bad guy. So it's kind of interesting where you may be moving the cops around to get them away, but then later the next player moves the cops in a different direction.
Again, this is another one of those small box, but I feel like a lot of game. I don't know if I think fondly about this because I feel like I've won every single time I played this.
Yeah, it could be the case.
No matter how many times we tried to...
I actually think when I played it with Brandon too, I lost.
No matter how many times we roll reverse it or whatever, I still won.
I may have won once. Give me once.
Sure. There is a realm of possibility where you could have won this game one time.
We haven't played it for a while, so...
Yeah. It has been a while. But it's nice. Like, it's not overwhelming. Like, it's a small game. It's just flipping tiles, moving things around. It's that classic kind of keep away type thing happening. But there are interesting little things. The dog can do this, and the policeman does this.
Yeah.
How to flip tiles and not be too obvious, but also accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, because all the tiles have the bad guy like built into them. So you're trying to turn the tiles around so you can get line of sights with roads and stuff. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's just a nice, thinky little game, but little table space. Like, you can also be doing something else at the same time, maybe. I, of course, love the theme. I am a huge Sherlock Holmes freak. And so to have it all in this like nice little neat package with a fun kind of 2-player game, I think is great. It's like, what's that one game that's been around forever?
Clue?
Well, yes, that has been around forever. Where Mr. X is moving.
Oh, Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard.
It's similar to that. Same kind of feeling.
It's the same kind of feeling, but just for 2 players, and so it's a little more intense, and I feel like a little more achievable in a lot of ways.
Oh, totally.
And so that's why I really enjoyed this, and also I won.
As you know, I always lose. So yes, my 177, a game that I'm awful at.
Unless we live stream it, and then I'll lose.
That's true. So we'll play it live and I'll win. So number 177 is Mr. Jack Pocket. The next game is another Bruno game. Oh no, yeah, and Ludovic.
Ludovic.
So that's coincidence. But number 176 is Dice Town. And we played this game a ton.
Oh my gosh,
we played it at church camp, we played it at home, we played it at other people's houses.
Yeah.
This is essentially poker Yahtzee. You're rolling dice that look like poker cards. They have 9 through ace faces. Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to collect different sets of things to do different actions at this town. Trying to get gold cards, trying to go to the saloon, trying to acquire land and property, trying to maybe steal some cards from your opponent, or if you can't get anything, you can go visit Doc Bad Luck and you get a little consolation prize. And the person who does that the best is going to be the winner. And it comes with cool acorn cups, or whatever.
Yeah, like, they look like shell game cups, like, find the lady.
Yeah.
What's great about this game is we use this a lot as an introductory game to designer type games because it's so relatable for people. Most people understand poker.
And Yahtzee.
And understand Yahtzee. And also the feel of putting dice in this cup and the sound it makes when you're shaking it up and pouring them out. People freaking go nuts over that. And it's just like, it seems stupid. Like it's so, that seems gimmicky. But there's something about everyone rolling the dice at once and it's all this crazy noise. And you're slamming it down. And then you're looking to see what you got. Like that, people really love that. And so I think that's why that's gone over really well. It's accessible to them because it builds on what they already know. And it's got like these great interactive features. Plus, a lot of people really dig the Western theme.
It's true.
Which I do.
You're not wrong.
Big fan of Westerns.
And I really like the art in this. I think it's from Piero, who does a lot of the art. I'm trying to find it on the rule book and I can't seem to find it. Illustrated by Piero, yes. So this guy does a lot of art. His art is really cool and cartoony, but also kind of real life at the same time. Like if you look at this box, it's not super cartoony, but it's a little cartoony. But I really like his style. So artwork makes this game a little bit cooler too.
Yeah.
So that is 176, Dice Town. So my next game is number 175, and it is a dice placement worker putting people on your board game, and it's called The King's Abbey. And this is from Breaking Games, I believe, and essentially there's a main game board.
Brown-eyed games.
All right. Where you're trying to go out and you're trying to put your dice on this game board to collect silver, stone, wheat, wood, and sand. So you're doing all this, and you're using those resources then to build different types of buildings on your own little player board. You're trying to grow your own village around the main game board. And you're also sending some of your workers out to fight in crusades.
The crusades, yeah.
You may be trying to send some of your guys who come back from the crusades up to the front of the church so they can get, forgiven for all their sins that they did in the crusades. And you're also trying to assign some of those newly forgiven workers, or those newly forgiven peasants, to work in some of the buildings on your player boards because they're going to score you more points. So essentially it's a dice placement game where it's with some resource management, some city building, and it takes turns in phases, and the players are also trying to work together to fight the darkness in the town, because like any good religious town, you want to fight off the darkness. So that's number 175, The King's Abbey, which you have not played.
I have not played. It appears to be a lengthy game, and you can also play it solo.
Lengthy, yes.
I don't know why I haven't played this yet.
I don't know. I've actually only played with Brandon, I think.
This doesn't get out much.
Yeah, it's good. I think part of the reason it doesn't get out much because it's a beast to teach. But if you can get past that and you know how to play it, it's a pretty fun time. So 175.
King's Abbey.
King's Abbey. So my next game is essentially the precursor to Grand Austria Hotel. It's not even by the same designer, but it does like the way the dice drafting works is kind of similar to Grand Austria Hotel. And that is number 174, Ispahan. And I'm not sure who the designer is on this.
Sebastian Pauchon.
Yeah, so not the guy who did Grand Austria. Those are the slick Italian designers.
Yes.
So in this game, what you're trying to do is, it's a dice drafting game. There's going to be a little tower that's going to hold the dice, and each of the spaces is going to give you a different action that you can do with said dice. So you're going to draft a die. It's going to let you put either some of your little cubes out on buildings. You may get to put them on camels to move up this caravan track. It may let you acquire camels, because some of the actions you take, you have to spin camels. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to have the most of your color cubes in this group of different color buildings. I think there's
blue, pink,
pink and yellow
and white
on 4 sectors of the board. So each sector there's some different set collection. So you're trying to get more of your color cube in that area than your opponents to score the most points. So again, I like dice drafting, and this game is fun, and it looks awful. So you know how I'm a sucker for awful looking games.
I mean, I kind of like this little camel guy.
Yeah, the box is cool, but the rest of the game doesn't look that cool.
There's nothing to write home about.
So it's a dry Euro. It's very, very bland.
I've never played this, and I was like, oh, it's dice drafting, then I love that. And he's like, oh, it's also area control. I'm like, don't love that.
The area control is not as in your face in this, because there's some mechanisms where you can.
That's what you said about Bora Bora too.
That's true. This one is better.
I would hope.
And this one I believe is like super out of print too. You can still find it on BGG if you want to.
Sorry.
If you like dice drafting and you want a bland looking awesome Euro. So number 174 is Ispahan. The next game is one of the small AEG games that we talk about some. And it's called Sail to India, and that's 173 if I didn't say that already. So this is from designer Hisashi Hayashi. He's done trains. He's done some more of these little box games that I can't remember right now because my brain is awful. But what you're doing in this game, this is another one Katie hasn't played, but I'll kind of give you a synopsis here. So you're building up this route of cards, which are locations from, I'm not sure the starting point, but you're trying to get to India. To do that, you're using cubes in about 8 different ways. So one of your cubes can be a boat, it can be a church, it can be a building, it can be technology, it can be points, it can be money. So one of your cubes is doing all these things. So when you use a cube for something, you're taking it out of your supply and reducing the amount of other actions you can take. The game ends when someone runs out of their cubes or someone reaches India. I believe. I haven't played this one for a while, but I believe that's how you end. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to score the most points by building the most buildings, having the best technology, having the most money. You're just trying to do everything that your opponents are doing, but do it better. So if you like tech tracks, if you like some resource management, if you like really tight money, really thinky actions in a little tiny box, then I recommend Sail to India because it'll give you all those things. And I know you haven't played, but I think you may. I'm not sure if you'll dig it, but I like it.
I really like these small box games. Again, that's like one of my things. Like if a box can be this small and still give you a good gaming experience, then that is huge because you're hitting a great price point because it's small. It's portable, so you can actually up your chance of playing it because you can take it with you. You can throw this in luggage. You can drop this in a purse, in a bag, and yet still have a great gaming experience. And so that's why I love these little games. And you love cubes, and that's all it's pretty much in here is cards,
and cubes. That's it. Nothing else.
So yeah, I think I would really like this. 173.
173 Sail to India, and the artwork actually is not awful.
No, it's not bad.
It's pretty good for like what it is.
Yeah.
So up next is a game from Dr. Finn's Games, number 172. And this is a drafting game all about making the best little flower shop, and it's called The Little Flower Shop.
Little shop of flowers.
All right, I was going to say, don't say horrors, then we're going to get a copyright
No,
strike.
that's why, and it was short too, so I made sure
true.
I only sang that part of the song.
So in this game, it's a drafting game. So everybody's going to have, I think, 7 or so cards. And you're going to take a card. You're either going to put it in your display. You're going to use it for money. You may draft some money. You may take a contract card that's going to allow you to sell some flowers later. You may take some flowers to put into your store window. You may take a hanging basket, which is going to give you some points. And you're going to do this over 3 rounds. So you're going to pass to the left one time, pass to the right one time, then pass back to the left. And at the end of the game, whoever has sold the best flowers and has the most money is going to be the winner. So yeah, it has really awesome artwork. I think the flowers look really nice.
Are you being sarcastic? The artwork kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
I like it.
It's okay. Like, you get the idea. It has kind of that soft impressionist kind of look to it, but
I think the flower cards are nice.
they're okay. I mean, you can tell what flowers they are. Like, it's distinctive. Like, oh yeah, this is a tulip. This is a sunflower. This is, baby's breath.
I think I also have an expansion in here.
We never played the expansion, but
I did.
oh, maybe we
But
did.
yeah, I also have an expansion that gives each player different goals and
no, we
maybe
did play that.
player powers. So like I may be able to get an extra $1 or $2 every time I sell flowers or something. So it's a really simple drafting game.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to try to maybe play a game with non-gamers that's a little more gamery, I would suggest starting with this one. Or maybe not starting with it, but suggesting it.
It's a good. And also, like, has a more, I want to say, uncommon theme
That is true.
of like this flower arranging, a flower shop. Like, I mean, the theme. I don't want to say it's super prevalent, but you're still looking at the flowers and checking and making choices.
For a drafting game, I think it's kind of prevalent.
So that's why I kind of liked it. It was different. It was different thematically. And you've got choices, and you've got like a little flower shop that ends up kind of coming together. You've got these hanging pieces where you put vases up there in your display, and you've got kind of vases down here. You can have hanging baskets. You have certain vases that require certain flowers in them. Yeah.
I think Beth Sobel does the art, and people will be real sad if you said you didn't. You didn't like the
Sorry.
art. She didn't do this one. It's okay. You can blame it.
I don't know who anyone is. I don't know who.
Well, she does a lot of art. Beth does a lot of art for his games. So I just wanted to verify. And it kind of looks like her, so I just wanted to verify.
Yeah, it's not.
Sarah and
I'm sorry.
Rocco.
If you're an artist, it's just not. I just don't like it. Other people do, obviously. Jason likes it. It's
like it,
just
yeah.
not my thing. But I like the game. So there you have it.
Yeah, so that's number 172, The Little Flower Shop.
Little shop of flowers.
So the final game of this video, number 171, is a game that I don't have. Someone in our game group has it, and he brought it over and we played it. And that is Super Motherlode. So I'm going to try to talk about this game. Probably won't do a very good job, but I haven't done a very good job on any of them, so that's fine. So
you're used to it.
What you're doing in this game is it's kind of a deck builder, a slow deck builder, where you're using these cards. Everybody starts with the same cards, kind of, but you're different factions, so you have a little bit different actions than other players. I think there's 4 different color cards, and you're trying to use these cards to dig down on this planet's surface to get artifacts, gems. I think that might be it. Just gems and artifacts. And you're trying to use the gems and gold and stuff to recruit more cards, which are essentially like astronauts on your team, to get them into your hand. So it's a really slow way to get more cards into your hand. And you want to get cards because you can get in-game goals and based on the kind of cards that you have. And yeah, you're trying to get the more points than everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I really like deck builders. That's the type of game that I really enjoy. So I liked this. However, the pacing is slow.
But, I mean, you're still drilling, so the drilling is fun. So you're doing stuff anyway when you can't build cards. It's just you'd like to have more than your 10 generic cards.
I mean, this is okay. I remember thinking it was okay. I just wanted more from it than it could give me. And I felt like you couldn't really, it was hard to get traction to go anywhere. Like, it's sometimes nice, like, yeah, okay, we have a slow start, I have to build up. But eventually you hit that stride.
You have 400 cards
where
in your
you're
deck.
like, yeah, I got this. You don't get that with this game.
No.
You're like, well, I'm good with yellow, so I can add like 2 cards to that, and the rest are pretty much screwed. And I'll just have to work with what I got. So it's very lean on building of the deck, but there is a deck.
I think there's only 16 cards that you even have the possibility to buy. There's 4 different stacks of 4 cards.
Yeah.
So over the course of the game, you're going to buy maybe 8 cards, if you're lucky.
Right. So focusing on how we're drilling, where you're drilling, what you can pick up in one turn, like maximizing that as far as the drilling goes, I think is what's really important in the game. But for me, it wasn't as super memorable as some other deck builders. But it's still, I mean, it was a good time.
Well, it's one of those earlier deck builders with a board too. So you're not just buying cards and playing cards. You're buying cards to do things on this board, like Clank. What else? Trains does that. Mm-hmm. A bunch of other games are doing it now.
Right.
But this one's not super old, but it was before Clank. Mm-hmm. So Clank brought that hotness into play.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the last game on the list, and that's 171, Super Motherload. So I'm going to let Katie get off the video because she seems super tired.
I'm so sorry. I am so tired. Oh my gosh. It's not even that late, but like our kids went to bed, and on days where I use my brain a lot, like when I'm teaching.
Doing this video.
When I'm teaching and my students are asking me questions and I'm like kind of pulling stuff out of my brain, like your brain works, and then I get so tired. And then my husband asked me to do a video, and I love him so much and I want to give him this video, but I'm so tired. So I'm so sorry. Nothing against you guys. Nothing against Jason. Nothing against these games. I'm just old.
To be fair, some of these games...
Some of these games I didn't like.
are yawn-inducing, but I still love them.
Right. So, no offense, guys. Sorry, I'm sleepy.
So that was this 15. We'll come back some other time with another 15 and keep you enthused, and Katie will be less tired.
I'll try to be less tired. And maybe we'll do it a little bit sooner than we did between these two.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. So,
sorry.
Again, I'm Jason, and...
I'm Sleepy Katie.
Keep gaming.
Keep gaming.